Hi guys, and welcome to my guide to the top 5 AFK moneymakers in old school RuneScape. Now these are all geared at low level players or other players who are looking to have an alt account to make money on. So none of these are high level requirements or high level moneymakers. They're all going to be relatively low level and can be done whether you're a noob or looking to make an alt account. Alright, let's get started. And starting in at number 5 is going to be Fletching unstrung maple longbows. Now for this method you're able to AFK for only about 50 seconds, hence why it's kind of at number 5, but you're going to be profiting about 150k per hour, and the requirements for this are just 55 fletching, which is going to be a little bit higher than some of the others, but it's actually very quick to get 55 fletching. So all you're going to do is withdraw a inventory of maple logs, and with a knife you're just going to use it on there and create maple longbows, and you're going to have to type in an amount. I just do 56. And yeah, so you're able to AFK here for about 50 seconds, and for experience wise, this is why this is actually kind of worth doing. You're getting about 90k an hour fletching experience, so it's actually a really good fletching training method. Some people do all the way to 99 just because it's really easy, profitable, and pretty decent experience, and also AFK. Okay, so we just finished up our inventory of maple longbows. So the final product is worth 2,500 pretty well. And we bought all the logs for like 10 each, but we'll do a price check of those as well. So under 90, so we're making about 2,300, and it took about 50 seconds. With banking, that's about a minute. So times 60, you're looking at 138, and sometimes up to about 150k an hour, so not bad. And number 4 is smithing cannonballs. Now this is a very popular method, and for good reason. The amount of time you can AFK here is quite a lot. If you time it out, it's about 2 minutes and 45 seconds roughly that you can sit here, just because of how long it takes for each cannonball to be made. Now you will need one requirement to make cannonballs, that is the dwarf cannon quest complete, but it's a pretty easy quest honestly and doesn't really take that long. Beyond that you're going to need 35 smithing, but still not a super high requirement. From this you're going to be able to profit about 130 to 150k per hour, and as far as experience you're going to get about 14k an hour, which is pretty decent I guess. It's free smithing experience just because of how AFK it is, but not great. But the reason this is above the other method is mainly just because of how long you can AFK here for. Almost 3 minutes of not being at your computer is very good. Okay, so we finally finished the inventory, so now just quickly price check this for you guys. So we bought all the steel bars for 14,391 roughly, and we smithed them into cannonballs, which are worth about 21k, so that is a 6.6k profit in about 3 minutes. Let's say 20 would make it into an hour, so about 132k an hour. Not as much money, but again, very AFKable, so that's why it's at number 4. Okay, and at number 3, surprisingly, is baking potatoes. As of the current prices, they're actually about 180k per hour, which is extremely high for how little of a requirement there is to do this. All you're going to need is, well, technically only like 7 cooking, but I'd recommend 40, because at that point you won't burn the potatoes ever, and they have to be cooked on a range. So we're here in Catherby right now, which I think is one of the closest ranges to a bank. Now the AFK time here is about 1 minute for cooking the potatoes, and we're getting only, well, let's see, I think it's only 20 or 30k, sorry, it's only 17k cooking experience per hour, but 180k profit per hour is pretty decent, especially for the requirement. Okay, so we cooked an inventory of potatoes. So initially the potatoes are worth only 924 coins, but once we cook them, they're going up to about 5k. This OS Buddy guide is a little inaccurate, I did just price check it. So 4k in profit, let's say, and we can do 45 inventories an hour. Is going to be about 180k in profit, which is exceedingly good for this skill level. Coming in at number 2 is going to be cutting diamond bolt tips. Now to do this, you're just going to require 65 fletching. Again, it is a little bit higher, but it's very quick to get fletching levels. So once you get 65, all you're going to need is, well, you need a little bit of money to get started, because buying the diamonds does cost a bit, but you can just do an inventory, sell it, do an inventory, sell it. but all you need to do is withdraw an inventory of diamonds, so 27 diamonds with a chisel, and you're just going to cut them all. The AFK time here is about 1 minute and 20 seconds, so a little bit longer than the potato method. The only thing that's not great about this method is the experience rates. You're only going to get about 10k fletching experience per hour, which is really bad, but mainly we're in it for the money, so that's why we put this at number 2. Okay, so we just finished up our inventory of diamond bolts. So we ended up buying these diamonds for 22.14, and we're going to just do for 27 of these. So 22.14 times 27, so we spent about 59.7k. And if we check the price of diamond bolts right now, it looks like they're at 218. So we popped them in here for 218 to sell, and it looks like they're going to sell for 70.6. 7,600 minus 59, 500 some. Anyway, it's about 10 or 11k, and since we can do an inventory in about 90 seconds, that leaves us with about 40 inventories an hour. So we're going to make 400 to 450k an hour doing this method, which is pretty good. And finally, last up is going to be charging air orbs. This is something that is a little bit higher of a requirement. You need 66 magic to do this. That being said, you can AFK this for about 1.5 minutes, which is nice. It does have a bit of a lengthy run to get there, but it's actually pretty good for AFK, and I've done it quite a bit because the actual time you're spending charging the orbs does take quite a while. This method varies in how profitable it is per hour. Right now it's only about 300k, which is on the low end. I've gotten about 500k an hour here as well, and so currently it's actually not as profitable as cutting diamond bolt tips, but historically and more consistently this method is better, and plus it does give more experience, giving you about 35k magic experience per hour. So once you have 66 magic, you're going to come to Edgeville with the following items. You're going to need 81 cosmic rooms per run, because it's going to take 3 per air orb you create. You're going to need an inventory filled of unpowered orbs. Now for your equipment, you want to bring as much weight reducing gear as possible, but since you are going into the wilderness, I wouldn't bring any you're not willing to lose. I'm not sure if it drops on the ground or not, but either way I just play it safe and not bring full graceful. I just bring a couple pieces of graceful, and the boots of lightness are easy to get again, so I just check my death, items kept on death, and it looks like we're going to keep all my important stuff. So from Edgeville, you're going to want to run all the way down south and then go into the Edgeville dungeon. From here, you're going to run north, and you can see a bunch of other people doing it, so if you get super lost, you can just follow them, I guess. But from here, you're going to run north and then east through the gate, which is usually open, but sometimes not. North through another gate here, and then you're going to run past the Chaos Druids. Sometimes it'll ask you to, if you want to enter the wilderness. So that is a warning. From now on, you are in the wilderness. You only go to about level 5 or 6 wilderness, so it's not super dangerous. But sometimes there are some people who like to PK bots there, even though it's absolutely pointless for them. But anyway, it is possible to die and have died, but if you're paying attention, it's not a big deal. You're going to run past the Black Demons, so if you're super low level, you might want to get some higher defense levels. And once you get up this ladder, you're at the air obelisk. Oh, someone got PK'd. Anyway, yeah, be a little mindful. And then you're going to use your spell on the obelisk, and then make all. So now you can pretty much AFK for 1.5 minutes, go do whatever you want, and come back. And once you're done, you're just going to teleport back to Edgeville. Okay, so we just finished our run and teleported back to Edgeville, and we just have all the items here just so we can check the prices. So let's have a look. We turned all of these ingredients into air orbs. This is one chirp. We got 30.861k is what we can sell them for. And if we put in the ingredients, it cost us 13,203 to make, giving us a profit of about 17,600 per run. And we did a run in about 3.5 minutes, which means we can do about 17 in an hour roughly, leading us to get about 300k an hour. Now this very frequently will be worth a lot more, but still, just as it is, it's a pretty good AFK moneymaker, and I just decided to put it at the top of the list. Alright guys, before I finish up, I would really like to go thank my patrons over on Patreon, especially Robert D, who just bought my adamant tier of support, which is awesome. That included a shout out in the video, so thank you very much, man. Appreciate it a lot. And to everyone else over on my Patreon, definitely go check it out. And thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see you guys next time.